You walk into a room you have never seen before, a cafe in a foreign city you are sure you have never set foot in, and then it hits you, cold and sudden, like a hand on the back of your neck. You have been here before. Not somewhere like this. Here, this exact moment. The light falling this exact way, the words about to leave that person's mouth. You know what comes next. And then, just as fast, it is gone, and you stand there, a little shaken, asking the question nearly every human who has ever lived has asked. What was that? You are not alone. Roughly 2 of every 3 people on Earth have felt it. And here is the strange part. For thousands of years, every culture that tried to explain it reached for the same kind of answer, and everyone was wrong. They filled the mystery with ghosts. A memory bleeding through from a past life, a ripple from the cycle of rebirth, and the eeriest, the one that lasted centuries, that you had dreamed this exact moment once, and the dream was coming true. Every one of those answers points outward, to other lives, other worlds, prophecy. But the truth points the other way, not out to the cosmos, in. The answer sits inside your own skull, and it is far stranger than any ghost. Here is the first clue that this is biology, not magic. Déjà vu is not spread evenly across a life. It peaks in your late teens and early 20s, then fades decade by decade, until by old age it often goes quiet. Whatever this is, it tracks the brain as the brain changes. And the second clue sounds backwards. The people who feel it most are the educated, the well-traveled, the ones with rich, busy imaginations. You would think a sharper mind would glitch less. Hold on to that, because it is about to tell us exactly what déjà vu really is. The word itself is young, coined in 1876 by a French researcher who called it the sensation of the already seen. But here is what should bother you. Naming a thing is not explaining it, and for over a century the smartest minds alive could not. Even Freud missed, certain it came from buried desire. There are still more than 40 competing theories, but recently science has quietly closed in on something testable. To understand it, you need one strange fact about your memory. It is not one system, it is 2. The first is fast and crude. It runs in the background and answers one question: does this feel familiar? Not why, not when, not where, just a flag, yes or no. The second is slower and richer, the one that actually remembers, that pulls up the where and the when and the who. In everyday life, the 2 run together so seamlessly you never notice they are 2. And these 2 jobs live in different places in your brain, which is the whole secret. Reach up and touch the spot just behind your ears. A couple of inches inside, on each side, sits a small region called the rhinal cortex. Its only job is that fast question: has this happened before? Right next to it sits the hippocampus, which does the heavy lifting of real recollection, the when and the where. One detects familiarity, the other supplies the memory that justifies it. Normally they work as a team, and you never feel the seam. Déjà vu is what happens in the half-second they disagree. Picture it. The rhinal cortex fires its flag. This is familiar, yes. But the hippocampus searches for the matching memory and comes back empty. No scene, no when, no where. You are left holding a powerful, physical sense of recognition with absolutely nothing attached to it. One part of your brain insists you know this place, while another part insists, correctly, that you have never been here. That contradiction, familiar and impossible at the same time, is the cold prickle climbing your spine. So how do we know that is really what happens inside the skull, and not just a neat story? Because of people for whom déjà vu stops being rare. In one form of epilepsy that starts in the temporal lobe, exactly where these 2 regions sit, déjà vu arrives as an aura seconds before a seizure. The same wave of this has all happened before, every single time. And decades ago, neurosurgeons operating on awake patients found they could trigger it on command, touching that exact patch of the temporal lobe with a tiny electrical current and watching a person suddenly flood with familiarity out of nowhere. Same spot, same eerie feeling, summoned at will. That gave researchers a map, but also a stranger question that turns the whole thing inside out. If your brain can fire familiarity for no reason in a place you have genuinely never been, then what is it recognizing? Because déjà vu does not feel random. It feels specific. It feels like this place, So, what is the match? One researcher decided to stop theorizing and build déjà vu in a laboratory on purpose. Her name is Anne Cleary, and she had a hunch that the trigger is not the room itself, but the shape of the room, the layout, the way things sit in space relative to each other. So she built a virtual world. Using the video game The Sims, her team built more than 100 scenes in secret pairs. Each pair looked completely different: a museum and a courtyard, an aquarium and a doctor's waiting room, but shared the exact same spatial layout, the same walls and objects, dressed in different clothes. So, what happens when your brain meets a layout it has secretly seen before? Nearly 300 people pulled on a headset, walked through one scene, then were dropped into its hidden twin, a place they had never seen, but built on a layout they had walked before. The results were exactly what the theory predicted. When a new scene secretly matched an earlier layout, but people could not recall that earlier scene, their familiarity spiked, and so did their déjà vu. Their brains recognized the skeleton of the room. They just could not say why. And that is the secret hiding inside the eerie feeling. Something in front of you really does match something in your memory. A hallway shaped like one from a forgotten childhood home, a stranger's kitchen with the counters and corners arranged just like your grandmother's. The match is genuine. Your familiarity detector catches it and fires correctly. But the original memory is too old and too buried to surface and explain itself. So you get the signal with no source, recognition with no receipt. And now, the earlier clue snaps into place. Remember who feels déjà vu the most? The young, the travelers, the people with vivid, scene-stuffed minds. Of course. They carry the largest library of half-remembered layouts for the world to accidentally match. The more rooms you have walked through, the more often a new one quietly rhymes with an old one you cannot quite recall. So here is what déjà vu actually is. Not a memory of a past life, not a glitch in reality, not a tear in time. It is the moment your brain catches one of its own mistakes. Your familiarity detector misfires. A higher part of your mind notices, checks it against reality, and says, "That cannot be right. We have never been here." The chill you feel is not the malfunction. The chill is the correction, your brain auditing its own memory in real time and refusing to be fooled. But if déjà vu is just a misfire, why does it come with that eerie sense of knowing the future? Because there is one more layer to the illusion. In that split second, many people feel something extra. A flash of certainty that they know what happens next. The future revealed. This is almost certainly where the old prophecy and past life explanations came from. But when researchers induced déjà vu in the lab and asked people, right in that moment, to predict what came next, they did no better than a coin flip. The sense of knowing the future is real as a feeling and empty as information. Your brain, drowning in unexplained familiarity, reaches for the only story that fits. If I have been here before, I must know how this ends. And here is the part that should genuinely surprise you. Déjà vu is not a sign your brain is failing. It is proof it is working. A fact checker catching its own error in real time. But notice the other half of that sentence. Déjà vu only happens when something is genuinely new, a place you have never stood, a layout you have never walked. It is the feeling of your brain meeting the unfamiliar. Which means the reason it fades with age is not really about the brain getting old. It is about the rooms running out. The young feel it constantly because almost everything is still a first time. And it runs the other way too. Stare at a word you know perfectly, the word the, for 30 seconds, until it stops looking like a word at all. That is jamais vu, déjà vu's mirror image. Something deeply familiar suddenly turning alien. Same machinery, running backward. So the next time that cold wave climbs the back of your neck, and every cell in you swears you have stood in this exact spot before, do not reach for ghosts. What you are feeling is small. Electric proof of something easy to forget. You just walked into a piece of life you had never lived before. And that is worth keeping. That feeling feeds on new places, new faces, new rooms. It is the signature of a life still collecting first times. We assume déjà vu belongs to the young, because young brains are sharper. But maybe it is simpler. The young are just still going somewhere new. So if you want to keep that strange spark alive, it has nothing to do with your age and everything to do with your map. Take the unfamiliar street. Say yes to the trip. Walk into the room you have never seen. Your brain keeps quiet count of every new place you hand it. And déjà vu is the sound it makes when your life is still wide enough to surprise you.